If you're observant enough, you can find that there's pretty much a cycle with anything nowadays as far as business, um, business sales, how much money an employee is making, going to make throughout the year, gas prices, let's say the currency we share, inflation, the markets. With this one, I'll more go into like a business cycle because it can actually help you to kind of get a bigger picture of how much money you can actually bring in if you're like working like a minimum wage job or a job that revolves around people, I should say. Something that depends on like people coming in and making your company money. The problem with that, so if you're working by the hour and not salary, the thing is, the business, we'll actually go into like between December, January. This is the trend. You have the holidays. Actually, Black Friday. I'll start there. Black Friday, big sale. The company just made a ton of money. Yeah, even though it's at the same time, they've given discounts. Between that point, they give their employees a huge amount of hours. Between there and January, actually, like January 1st, they give them a huge amount of hours as well because people are coming in for Christmas. But at the same time, what's also happening in the background, they're getting rid of their stock at a discounted price so they can replace it with the next best thing, next year's model. So typically you're going to have a sale easy Black Friday, Christmas. But it's not always going to be like the fattest thing that you expect, like 50, 75% off. Sometimes you can get it. Well, a lot of times you can get those, but it really just depends on what it is, what type of product it is. And then, but ultimately, they're really just trying to clear their stock so they can come out with next year's model. But what happens around between, well, actually, I'll say February. It can start at January, but especially between February until about June. You can definitely expect, if you're a worker, whether it's fast food, retail, anything close to that, where you're just dependent on people coming in and buying something, you can expect your hours to drop. Like a huge decline in hours. Maybe you're working between 8 to 16 hours, so you end up having to pick up multiple jobs. And you'll be like, that ain't right. But for the business, they see it as a smart decision to save them money. But you have to be able to see that yourself, to be able to project that ahead of time, that they are going to do this no matter what. Sometimes they'll give certain people an amount of hours, but they can't do that for everybody. Sometimes they can't. Well, they can, but they won't. We'll say that. Managers, supervisors, they're guaranteed their money. They'll get the max hours and a salary and shit like that. But what happens after June? Now we have July 4th, a big holiday. Yes, before then you can have like Valentine's Day and certain other holidays, small things that sells a lot of candies and can get you an extra deal as like a gift for somebody else. They'll try to sell it. But typically they're looking more at 4th of July and back to school sales and stuff like that. Something that can actually bring in a lot more money for people. Oh, also, you have kids, students are out of school, so they're looking for more jobs. So summer, we'll just say, is a time where a lot of money is actually being like thrown around. So it's easier for a company to actually sell stuff. It's easier for a company to sell stuff between July to about September, and close to the end of November to December. So we'll say typically half the year the company is making a lot of money, and about half the year an average low wage employee is making okay money still, but they can make, but that's only for half the year, and half the year they're making little to nothing. Unless they have multiple jobs and they can have something, but it's just, hence the reason why you can't settle for those type of things, but it throws out the cycle. But even knowing the cycle, you can use this to your advantage to actually find deals, because you know how the business operates. So knowing this, you know, if there's a major holiday coming, you can expect the business to have big sales. The biggest sales, like that are close to Black Friday, would be like back to school sales, like during the summer. So actually, we'll say this: major holidays like Valentine's Day, you can expect summer deals, especially towards the end. October, mainly on candy. Black Friday, big. Christmas, big. You save most of your money around there. So if you have like big purchases you want to make to save you some money, personally, for a car, I'll say for a car, like between July and September, or because that's when they really start to push to try to sell those vehicles. Because they have to start early. It's not like people are going to be looking for a new car just for the holidays as a gift. Most people are looking for like smaller things, so they have to start that early for vehicles. But yeah, other things: Black Friday, Christmas.